The world thought Jeffrey Epstein's empire was built on brilliance and wealth, glittering mansions, private islands, and a jet that carried the powerful like a floating palace. Survivors later revealed a different truth. Behind the polished marble floors existed a silent marketplace where teenage dreams were traded for control. None of it began with terror. It began with a smile, a compliment, a simple question about hopes for the future. Opportunity wore the mask of kindness. Girls were approached in the most ordinary places outside classrooms, at shopping centers, through trusted friends, and invited into a life that looked like a shortcut to success. Easy money, glamorous travel, so influential mentors. Everything seemed golden until the door quietly closed behind them. Luxury became a leash, generosity became debt, and power became a wall no child knew how to climb. When these women finally found their voices, they shattered the illusion that trafficking lives only in dark streets. Their stories exposed how evil can dress in designer suits, how a mansion can feel smaller than a cell, and how innocence can disappear without a single scream. Let's watch. 1. Virginia Giuffre, the girl who was promised a future. Virginia Giuffre was 16 when she met Epstein while working at a Florida resort. She has said she believed she was entering a world of mentorship. Instead, she described being passed between properties and powerful men like a gift. Giuffre explained that the grooming felt gentle at first, compliments on shopping trips, and talk about education. Only later did she realize she had been trafficked. Her decision to sue publicly changed the entire case. Without her voice, many others might never have been believed. 2. Sarah Ransom, trapped behind paradise. British survivor. Sarah Ransom said she was recruited with promises of a fashion career. She described being flown to Epstein's private island, where passports and phones were controlled. Ransom later wrote that luxury became a cage. Staff decided when she could eat, sleep, or leave a room. Her testimony showed that trafficking does not require chains. Wealth can be a prison. 3. Maria Farmer, the first to warn authorities. Artist. Maria Farmer encountered Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell in the 1990s. She reported abuse to the FBI long before the scandal exploded. No, Farmer said she was locked inside a property and guarded by security when she tried to escape. Her early warnings were ignored, proving how institutions failed the victims for decades. 4. Annie Farmer, a teenager no one listened to. Annie Farmer was only 16 when she visited Epstein's New Mexico ranch. She later testified that Maxwell touched her inappropriately and that she felt terrified but powerless. Her calm, detailed testimony in Maxwell's criminal trial helped jurors understand how young the victims really were and how friendly encounters could hide exploitation. 5. Courtney Wild, fighting for victims' rights. Courtney Wild was recruited at just 14 by another girl paid to bring Epstein new victims. She spent years battling in court after prosecutors secretly gave Epstein a lenient plea deal in 2008. Wild became a symbol of resilience, arguing that the justice system treated survivors as inconveniences rather than human beings. 6. Jennifer Arraoz, approached outside her school. Jennifer Arraoz said she was targeted outside her Manhattan high school by a female recruiter offering tutoring and modeling contacts. She described how the mansion felt glamorous and safe until it wasn't. Arraoz's lawsuit emphasized that predators hunt in ordinary daylight, not shadows. 7. Chante Davies, dreams used as bait. Aspiring model. Chante Davies met Epstein believing he could help her career. She later said travel and gifts slowly turned into sexual demands disguised as massages. Davies explained that ambition can be weaponized. He learned what you wanted and became the doorway to it, she said. 8. The Carolyn Andriano turned into a recruiter. Carolyn Andriano testified that she was paid for encounters at 14 and encouraged to bring friends for extra money. As an adult, she carried deep guilt for recruiting others while still a child herself. Her story revealed the pyramid structure that kept the machine running. 9. Johanna Schoberg, witness to the system. Massage therapist Johanna Schoberg told investigators she saw how assistants scheduled girls like appointments in a calendar. Her account proved the operation involved drivers, secretaries, and managers, an organized business. 10. Juliet Bryant, the referral web. Juliet Bryant described being introduced to Epstein by another young woman and receiving cash payments, believing she had found a legitimate way to earn money. At the time, everything seemed straightforward and harmless, even empowering. Only later did Bryant realize the harsh reality. She had been pulled into a trafficking network where her participation, however unaware, contributed to the cycle of abuse. Victims were coerced into recruiting others, perpetuating the system that ensnared more girls. 11. Maria's sister, a family drawn in. Maria Farmer's testimony revealed that her younger sister was also targeted, showing how Epstein's abuse extended beyond individuals to their personal networks. The predator did not act randomly. He deliberately sought friends, siblings, and classmates to exploit connections and build trust quickly. 12. The student who feared losing tuition. One publicly identified survivor described being promised help with college fees. When she tried to stop, the support was threatened. This tactic, using education and rent as leverage, appeared again and again in testimonies. 13. The girl isolated by travel. Another named survivor recounted being flown across states with no money of her own. Luxury hotels replaced locked rooms, but the result was the same: dependence. 14. The victim threatened with shame. Several survivors who bravely came forward revealed a chilling tactic. They were warned that if they spoke, private photos or rumors would be shared with their families, friends, or communities. This threat of exposure became more powerful than any physical restraint, instilling fear and silencing them for years. 15. The women who refused to disappear. Together, these survivors, Jeffrey, Ransom, the Farmer sisters, Wild, Arios, Davies, Andriano, Sjoberg, Bryant, Dess, and others became more than individual witnesses. They became a single, unbreakable voice. Their experiences unfolded in different cities in different years, yet the pattern was identical: grooming disguised as kindness. The voices of these survivors did more than describe one man's crimes. They redrew the map of how the modern world must understand trafficking. What happened inside Epstein's empire proved that exploitation does not always arrive with violence or visible chains. It can arrive in a luxury car, with a friendly introduction and a promise that sounds like a dream. The women who stepped forward turned private pain into a public warning, forcing society to confront an uncomfortable truth. Predators do not hide only in shadows. Sometimes they hide behind success. Their courage changed laws, reopened investigations, and gave other victims the language to name what was done to them. Each testimony became a crack in the wall of silence that protected powerful abusers for decades. They showed that healing is not forgetting, but refusing to disappear. The story is not only about Epstein, it is about every child who is still being approached today, believing opportunity has knocked on the door. Because of these survivors, the world can no longer pretend it does not recognize the signs. Their message echoes beyond courtrooms and headlines. Listen sooner, believe faster, protect louder. Only then can the next generation walk through life without fearing that kindness might be a trap. Let us know in the comments what you think about the Epstein survivor reveals shocking details about human trafficking experience. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more captivating content on our YouTube channel.